Ta-da.
The Saturday Show with Amy Irons and Stephen Mill.
On BBC Radio Scotland.
Good morning. How are you doing this Saturday? You are indeed tuned to The Saturday Show with me, Amy Irons, and the wonderful Stephen Mill.
What are you after? Wonderful Stephen Mill. You've never given me that introduction
You've
before.
not done anything to annoy me in the first 5 minutes.
No, exactly. But listen, I've got 3 hours to do that, and we've got a massive show. But before we get to any of that, we've got Auntie Amy in the house.
Oh, honestly, Stephen, what a week it has been. I've become an auntie for the first time. My brother Lewis, my best pal Olivia, they had beautiful baby Ronan. Ronan David Francis Irons was born on Wednesday, and he's just, oh my goodness, he's perfect. I think I've cried all week.
Amazing.
That, and I just look at pictures of him constantly. I'm becoming that person.
Well, listen, as an uncle, I can pass on some tips to you on how to annoy children, because that's probably my main function as an Uncle Stephen. So, Auntie Amy, you can become the same. That's fine. Listen, loads of chat coming up about that and everything else, but we have, obviously, a massive day lined up here on BBC Radio Scotland, and it could be Scotland heading to the World Cup.
I know, we're getting very, very anxious, nervous, excited, all the emotions. Scotland are playing Greece tonight, and 27 years since we last qualified. The national team potentially just 2 games away from getting to a World Cup. So, yeah, this morning's show, Stephen, it's going to be dedicated to that in a way, isn't it? A bit of 1998 nostalgia.
Yeah, it's all a 1998 throwback in honour of the last time Scotland reached the World Cup finals. We'll be hearing from one of the heroes of that campaign.
Lamberts comes to Gallagher. Oh, yes!
Kevin Gallagher coming up, and we will also hear from the man behind Scotland's official song at France 98. Remember this?
We got kind of coerced into it being this so-called official song, and that was kind of hell on earth.
That is Justin Curry from Della Mici. We'll hear from him a wee bit later on. And as it's 1998 throwback, most of our music this morning will be from that year. Some absolute belters on the way. And we could only start with one man, Dario G.
It may be in the heart of Paris, but from now until the big kick-off on Wednesday evening, the Old Alliance is exclusively Scottish territory.
And we get down to the serious business of the 1998 World Cup finals and the opening match. Brazil, the world champions and the favourites, against Colin Hendry's Scotland.
And Scotland are 1 down. And Collins equalises for Scotland. It's 1-1. Here is Cafu, saved by Jim Leighton. And it's an own goal. He's striking Burley. He's done it. 1-1.
I see a good skill. That's number 3.
To have been part of that is like a wee boy's dream.
You can't put a price on that. Money cannot buy that.
Saturday Show with Amy Irons and Stephen Mill
on BBC Radio Scotland.
That surely got you in the mood for tonight's game against Greece. Carnival de Paris, Dario G on the Saturday Show, 11 minutes past 9 this morning.
So we are doing all things 1998. What were you doing in 1998, Amy Irons?
Oh, I was 7 years old. So apart from being a little goody two-shoes at school and probably collecting like Jellycat toys, Furbies, I had a Tamagotchi.
Tamagotchi was big, yeah.
That would have been big around about that time. But in terms of the World Cup itself, I only really remember the Brazil game.
Oh, see, I was the World Cup final, right? France-Brazil was my 9th birthday. It was the exact same. It was July, yeah. So it was the second weekend in July, and it was my 9th birthday. And I asked my mum and dad for a Brazil top, so I could wear it for the final.
That lovely, famous yellow top.
And then they got battered 3-0. So
Did you cry?
No, I was a wee bit, because obviously I love Ronaldo and Rivaldo and all these amazing players and Zidane. It's the first big sort of World Cup that I can remember. I remember the Euros in 96 a wee bit, but 98 was the first one where I had the sticker book, I had like all the posters. Colin Hendry was on my wall, probably the first of many blondes that I had up on my wall. It was just a wee bit different.
A poster with a blonde.
Exactly. But listen, we want to know what you were doing in 1998. So we're talking significant life events. We're talking, did you get married in 1998? Was your first child born in 1998? Something significant happened to you, a positive thing. Let us know about it. And even better, if you were at France 98. We want to hear your stories.
Please, any memories, if you were lucky enough to go and see Scotland the last time we were at a World Cup, any memories of being there, or as Stephen said, those significant life events that maybe happened in 1998, text us 80295 or WhatsApp 08085 92 95 00. If you do WhatsApp us as well, you can send us a little voice note. We could play that out as well. So please do give us all your great memories as we get in the proper Scotland spirit today.
So I'm going to give you one to get you started, basically. See if you can top this. So my dad and a guy that he played golf with, who lived round the corner, just a wee village outside Dunfermline called Town Hill, they didn't go to the opening game, but they decided to go to the second game, which was Scotland versus Norway in Bordeaux. Now, even though it was, it's not that, it's 28 years ago or whatever it is, 27 years ago, but it was still more difficult to get places back then.
There wouldn't have been the same volume of flights, even the cost of getting there and things that people had to factor in.
So my dad and his mate Ian drove to Bordeaux from Dunfermline in his red Ford Mondeo. I can remember it like it was yesterday. Drove all the way to Bordeaux, slept in the car when they got there, got a ticket for the match, and then drove home again.
I would love to have seen what that car looked like. In fact, I want to know what that car smelled like after having a couple of lads who haven't showered for days sleeping in that car.
So listen, that's your starter.
Yes,
okay, so let me know if you can beat that. As Amy says, you can text us 80295. You can WhatsApp us as well, 08085 92 95 00. As Amy says, send us a voice note, or you can email SaturdayShowScotland@bbc.co.uk. Now listen, some of the tunes from 1998 are tremendous.
So we had to pick this one.
Yes.
All I wanted was to be with you from the start. That's when I knew that my world would be nothing without you, unless you love me the way that I love you. You make me laugh and you make me cry. I put hello to our last goodbye. You might say that you're the apple of my eye, 'cause you love me the way that I love you. Now I don't care about who's right or wrong. It doesn't matter anyway. my life 100 years or two. I know miracles, they really do come true. I know you love me the way that I love you. Listen. About who's right or wrong, it doesn't matter anyway. All I know is that I want your love forever and always. As we grow old and our days are filled, I will always love and cherish you. You the girl that made all of my dreams come true. I know you love me the way that I so glad you love me the way that I know you love me the way that I love you.
Thanks very much for being with us. It is a Saturday show and it is all coming down to these two games then. How are Scotland going to fare against Greece tonight? And then we've got Denmark on Tuesday. Could determine if we're going to make the World Cup for the first time since 1998. And this morning we've been asking, what were you doing in 1998? Plenty memories and stories coming in. Patricia in Moodiesburn says, I married my lovely husband Paul on the 4th of July 1998. Had to do my own hair as the hairdresser of many years was in France for the football. My bridesmaid's boyfriend, now husband, is Dutch and his country were playing the day of the wedding. So him and my husband kept nipping into the bar next door to watch. Patricia, you are a very patient one. Imagine letting your husband do that on your wedding day.
I know, exactly. Holland, Brazil it was in the semi-final. I remember watching it. You can text us anything like that. 80295 08085 92 95 00 on WhatsApp as well. And here's something to get you in the mood for tonight.
Scotland in the World Cup qualifiers. This is Sports Sound on BBC Radio Scotland.
What a chance to become instantly written into the history books of Scotland. The chance is there to do it.
When you look back on it, it won't matter how they did it. They got the 3 points, they moved top of the group.
Come November, we've got a chance to go to the World Cup.
With Scotland on 10 points. I cannot believe what's here. It's quite incredible.
We never know when to give up, and that's such a key aspect of a team like ours.
We have to get something from the Greek game. The best way to get something out of the game is to go for the 3 points, and if we come up a little bit short on the 3 points, we should get 1 point.
The thought all the Scotland fans travelling to America, having a party and supporting the team, it sounds absolutely amazing. We have a lot to repay the fans for all that support.
Denmark 0, Scotland 0. And it is there! Scotland have got the opener! Yes. Belarus 0, Scotland 2. It must be! Yes! Scotland 3, Greece 1. There's the goal from Scott McTominay. Scotland 2, Belarus 1.
Ideally, we go through in first place and we eliminate the playoffs, and through this one as the top dog.
Like the most epic movie trailer. Have you heard anything like that? I had goosebumps.
That was tremendous.
That was tremendous. Very excited. Well, tell you something that will build the anticipation and get you excited ahead of the game tonight is BBC Scotland sports news correspondent Chris McLaughlin, who's in Athens with the squad. Good morning, Chris. How are you?
Morning, Amy. I'm actually still not talking to you, so put Stephen on.
What's happened?
Chris, you can tell Stephen what I did to you last night on the telly.
Why don't you tell everyone what you said on national TV last night?
The way I delivered it last night. So Chris spoke to some fans out in Athens, and he spoke to a couple of young people essentially who weren't even born in 1998. I was then throwing to Chris off the back of this, and I said, somebody that was definitely here in 1998.
Oh, for God's sake, Amy.
I meant as well.
Definitely not here. Someone who was definitely here. Come on.
Oh, that's a bit harsh.
You were only
Come
two.
on,
You were only
very
two,
harsh.
Chris. You were only two.
I mean, I definitely had hair at that point in 1998. That's for sure.
What were you doing in 1998? Do you remember? Stephen was just talking about his memories of watching the final, and I remember being absolutely terrified of the Brazil players. I was only about 7, seeing them coming out.
Do you know, I've got this memory of being in a flat with my friends. We got a carry out to watch the Brazil game. And I remember we all sat down, and I remember Brazil scored after like 2 minutes, and we all just burst out laughing because we were so excited. We G'd ourselves up thinking maybe we could beat them, and then we just all burst out laughing.
I mean, at least it wasn't tears. It could have been tears.
But I know,
Exactly.
the thing is, though, like that Brazil team, it was like the Harlem Globetrotters as well. Like, you know, like Roberto Carlos, Cafu, and Ronaldo. Oh, so many of them as well. But back to the present day, Chris, you're in Athens. I've actually seen some brilliant videos up on our social pages, BBC Sports Scotland on Instagram and stuff. The fans seem to be in a good mood and very positive.
Yeah, look, they always are, Stephen. I mean, let's face it, quite often when you travel with Scotland, they travel, I think, more in hope than expectation, right? And I think I said last night that I think I detect between or beyond the bravado and the beer a bit of a nervousness, and I think all of that basically stems from the fact that this could be a massive, massive week. I mean, if we do the business tonight and avoid defeat, can you imagine the nerves going into that game on Tuesday? And I think I detect that. Look, everyone's here having a good time, enjoying the sunshine, but there's something a little bit different. There's a nervousness that only comes when there's a really big game in store. So yeah, plenty of party, but a bit of nerves, no doubt about it.
It's in everyone's minds, obviously, Chris, that it could come to Tuesday and it's a winner takes all shootout at Hampden for a place at the World Cup. How do you think the players make sure that they don't almost think too far ahead? Because this game against Greece is obviously absolutely huge.
Yeah, I mean, I think Steve Clarke, to be fair to him, was thinking about that early on, and I think that's why he took them to Turkey for warm weather training. And I think a lot of that was probably just to get them out of the sort of bubble and the noise, to take them away from that. He's always spoken, Steve Clarke, about this atmosphere within this particular squad, about it feeling like a club side, and I think he wants that as much as possible. Remember how angry he was after the Belarus game? I think he was really angry at half-time, the players were saying, and some of the players said that it felt like a defeat. I think he wanted to address that this time around before this game and try and get some belief back in this team, because, look, let's be honest, we've had the rub of the green, we've got results, but we've not been playing well. Scotland have not been playing well, and the players themselves, I think Steve Clarke would probably admit that. So he'll be working on trying to build a bit of confidence, trying to remind them, look, we are just 2 games away, and you deserve to be here. So it'll be about trying to block out that noise and trying to build the belief that this squad of players are capable. And I think that's the thing as well, Amy. When you look at this squad, you know that they are capable of more than they've been giving lately in terms of performances. It's just a case of trying to get that out of them.
Yeah, well, hopefully they turn it on tonight on Tuesday. That would be a good time to turn it on. He's got a couple of decisions to make, though. Big one in goals, obviously. Angus Gunn is out, who's been the keeper throughout the qualification process so far. I don't think it's going to be Liam Kelly, but it looks like it's between Craig Gordon and Scott Bain. Have you got any steer, any inside track, Chris?
I don't. I'd love to say I do. I don't. I suspect it might go for Bain, but that's based on nothing more than a hunch, I'm afraid.
Yeah.
We've not been around the camp. He's obviously been away in Turkey. But look, I think that both goalkeepers are very experienced, and they'll just be hoping that it doesn't come down to the goalkeepers. Craig Gordon has been there, done it, and he's got the experience. And Scott Bain's a very good goalkeeper, so I think he could probably put his trust in both of them. Scotland have not been crying out for goalkeepers for a long time. We do have decent goalkeepers historically, and I think that either one of those on their day, on form, would be fine.
Chris, are you going to be enjoying the food before kick-off tonight? Has the ouzo been flowing?
You know how busy I am on these trips.
I know.
Come on. You know.
No time
I'll tell
for
you what,
a liquid lunch.
After I come back from your major quip to me last night, shall we call it that?
Yeah.
I was so tired. I got a text message from Al Lamont, who is our commentator out here, saying, you know what you up to? We've just had dinner. I was like, don't even start. I'm going to bed.
I am going
to bed.
Sensible.
Too old for this nonsense.
Yeah. Sensible move from you, Chris. Well, listen, enjoy the game. I think there'll be a brilliant atmosphere. I know Greece are already out, obviously, but they would love to stick it to us after what happened at Hampden, I'm sure. So, massive game. And remember, you can listen to Greece versus Scotland on BBC Radio Scotland from 6 o'clock tonight. Full coverage on Sports Sound. And also, you can watch it on the telly as well. BBC Scotland, BBC Two, and the iPlayer from 7:15. Thank you very much to Chris McLaughlin there. And back to the music from 1998.
on the Saturday show on Radio Scotland. Just after 9:30 this morning, it's Amy and Stephen with you till 12. And we've been asking you what you were doing in 1998. We're getting into the spirit. The last time Scotland were at a World Cup, obviously ahead of the big double header. We've got Greece tonight, so we're building up to that. And I mean, I am loving the messages that are coming in. This one from Alan Campbell. He says, me, my dad and my dad's mate drove to Bordeaux from Helensburgh for the Norway game. Incident one, the night before the game, we were taking in some hospitality in a local establishment with some Norway fans. About 20 of us were given flaming sambucas from the owner. My dad's mate decided to do the Highland fling with the sambuca, dropped it, causing the bar to be evacuated while the flames were then put out on the floor.
Tremendous. Incident number 2, my mum made my dad a hat to wear, tartan-clad Viking helmet with a "See You Jimmy" beard. Little did my mum know that the hat ended up being a magnet for female Norwegian fans, and he spent the day of the game getting pictures taken like a Scottish celebrity. Keep your shouts coming in on 80295 and on WhatsApp 08085 92 95 00.
Time now then to chat about some of the most interesting news of the week, stories that have grabbed our attention. We call this our breakfast scroll, and joining us to get stuck in this morning we have comedian Mark Nelson and journalist Natasha Radmere. How are you doing this morning, Natasha?
I'm good, but I'm pretty tired because my 2-year-old was up all night. So, yeah,
well, I've been talking about the fact that I've just become an auntie for the first time this week. My brother Lucy's wife Olivia had little baby Ronan on Wednesday, and I'm just taking my hat off to any parent. I don't know how they're doing it already. What are your memories then of 1998? Natasha, what were you doing? Does anything stand out?
Yeah, so that was the year I started high school.
Right.
So it was quite an important year, but that's not the kind of standout memory from that year is learning a dance routine to Baby One More Time. And also begging my mum for a gilet, because they were very fashionable in 1998.
Mark, were you learning dances to...
I was teaching dances of Baby One More Time routines.
I mean, that's
right. That was the first year I became a dance instructor.
That's your era, though. I mean, we've spoken before. I know you're a massive Oasis fan, but you know, 90s.
Oh, yeah, 96 to 99 is just phenomenal music.
And do you have very vivid memories of the 98 World Cup and what?
I do, because you'll know this very well. That was one of the first days me and my friends went out to watch the game, the opening game against Brazil. We went to the Hole of the Wall.
And Dumfries.
Yeah, none of us allowed in there, obviously. but it's remarkable how much older you look when you've got your entire face painted blue. Suddenly you get to add about the 3 years you needed to get in at the pub.
There's an amazing, I think it might be a BBC News report. It's on YouTube somewhere, and it's from that day in 1998, and all businesses were closing, all the pubs were absolutely rammed. Yeah, because I think it was like a 4 or 5 o'clock kickoff or something like that. So in your own time, you can go and watch that. But for now, we need to get back to the breakfast scroll. First up, we played this music last week, but it feels appropriate to play it again. Because there has been much talk of traitors again this week. An extraordinary few days at Westminster. It began with an anonymous briefing suggesting the cabinet ministers, including Wes Streeting, were plotting against the Prime Minister Keir Starmer and that he would fight any leadership challenge. Mudslinging, a toxic culture was mentioned as well. Here's what Health Secretary Wes Streeting had to say when he faced the media on Wednesday.
I'm a faithful. In fact, what you've seen from a silly number 10 source overnight is probably the worst attack on a faithful since Joe Marler was banished in the Traitors final. I'm not challenging the Prime Minister. I'm not standing against him. I'm not doing any of the things that some silly briefers said overnight. As for pressure, I'll be honest, this silly briefing's water off a duck's back. We've seen this before against other cabinet colleagues. I think our Deputy Lucy Powell was absolutely right about that toxic culture that needs to change. I don't think these people are speaking for the Prime Minister. I don't think this is the sort of behaviour he expects from people who work for him and for the government. So on all that, I'm not worried.
Wes Streeting there. And here's what Keir Starmer had to say at Prime Minister's questions on Thursday.
Mr. Speaker, my focus each and every day is on rebuilding and renewing our country. But let me be absolutely clear, any attack on any member of my cabinet is completely unacceptable. I'm the Health Secretary, Mr. Speaker. In relation to Health Secretary, he promised before the election that in the first year of a Labour government we'd deliver 2 million extra appointments. We didn't deliver 2 million, or 3 or 4. We delivered 5 million extra appointments. and today the Health Secretary is in Manchester, where he's announcing that because of the action he's taken to abolish NHS England, he's putting more people on the front line. He's doing a great job, as is the whole of my cabinet.
Well, it's all been kicking off, as we can hear there. Mark, what did you make of the row and all the back and forth and traitor talk that we've had?
I just find it all so pathetic. First of all, see Wes Streeting talking about the traitors there. I find it so cringe when they're being given like a kind of topical thing to talk about. You can tell he doesn't have a clue what he's talking about, but he's going, traitors is popular, mention that. I just think, like so much stuff with politics, and the Tory party did this when they were in power, so much of it is so unnecessary that they cause these massive rows and almost make things difficult for themselves. Because I personally think if you get into politics, I wouldn't trust you anyway.
Sorry, I thought you were just...
No, not you. Oh, no, listen. No, Amy, if you were to get into politics, of course, I'd cease to trust you from then on.
Doing hammers stick together, Mark, I think is what you mean to say.
There's an amazing clip that I saw the other day where, because people are going as Wes Streeting been plotting against Keir Starmer, and they've made a very blatant point to say, no, he's absolutely not. He's not that kind of person. And then there's this clip that they asked about 20 politicians about 8 years ago, who do you think will be the next Prime Minister? And a lot of Labour MPs are going, Jeremy Corbyn. Some people are going, Angela Rayner. A lot of Tories are going, Kemi Badenoch. And then it comes to Wes Streeting at the end and he just goes, me.
Natasha, incredible. It's very the thick of it. That's what it's reminding me of.
It's very the thick of it. It's very... I'm sick of it. Because I had this hope when Labour came in that we wouldn't really be seeing as much of the sort of infighting that you saw with the Tories, that maybe they would just get on with governing the country. But actually, like Mark's saying, it's the same old. And yeah, I was saying that I started high school in 1998. I feel like I've never left because... The British government, whoever's in charge, they always ensure that we're sort of still in that same environment where, it's very childish.
Do you feel that the likes of Wes Streeting, there's been other people mentioned as well, the Home Secretary, do you think that they smell blood a little bit here, and that sort of ruthless ambition that Mark was mentioning there is maybe coming to the fore?
Yeah, absolutely. I think with the budget coming up, they know that the writing's kind of already on the wall for Keir Starmer, I think, so they're just they want to get a conversation going so that everybody's sort of prepared for a dialogue on who's going to be next. I don't see him lasting that much longer.
Mark, have you ever had a boss that you've thought you could try and get rid of?
Well, I've been self-employed for so long, so it would be me getting rid of myself, which I would find quite easy, to be honest. No, I mean, because I think I've always worked for decent bosses. Like, I remember, my favourite job ever was at Woolworths, I used to be the assistant manager of the toy department, which was incredible because my boss was the laziest person and was delighted to just let an 18-year-old basically run the
toy department.
Which coming up to Christmas was incredible because you're like, you could get rid of the toys. It's like a massive cliche. You get dads that come in on Christmas Eve and haven't bought anything. And then you could just get rid of all the rubbish that you've not managed to get out. And you're like, oh, they love jigsaws. Honestly.
I mean, it's that way as well, Natasha, where you were talking about the sort of childish nature of it. And we should point out, by the way, that Keir Starmer obviously says that the briefings didn't come from him. Yeah. They weren't on his authority. I mean, where does he go from here, though? Does it feel like his authority's been diminished a wee bit here?
Yeah, it does a little bit. But then I don't know if many people have really respected him anyway from the get-go. So it doesn't feel like he's got that far to fall, to be honest. But... I can imagine that in the background, Nigel Farage is just sitting in a Great British boozer with a Union Jack cape, just watching all of this unfold, really pleased with how it's all going. So
watching it all go. Right, well, stay with us, Mark and Natasha, because we've got some more of our breakfast stroll to get our teeth into, including the pub quiz scandal that has absolutely gripped the nation. It's after this.
It's you looked at me, cocked your head to the side and said I'm angry. 5 days since you laughed at me, saying get that together, come back and see me. 3 days since the living room, I realized it's all my fault but couldn't tell you. Yesterday you'd forgiven me, but it'll still be 2 days till I say I'm sorry. Hold it now, I want a hoodwink. Does it make you stop, think? You'll think you're looking at Aquaman. I summon fish to the dish, although I like the chalet Swiss, I like the sushi, cause it's never touch a frying pan. Hot like wasabi when I bust rhymes. Big like Leanne rhymes, because I'm all about value. Bert Camper's got the mad hits. You try to match wits, you try to hold me but I bust through. Gonna make a break and take a fake out like a stinking ache and shake out like vanilla. It's the finest of the flavors. Gotta see the show cause then you'll know the vertigo is gonna go, cause it's so dangerous you'll have to sign a waiver. Can't I help it if I think you're funny when you're mad? Trying hard not to smile though I feel bad. I'm the kind of guy who laughs at a funeral. Can't understand what I mean, well you soon will. I have a tendency to wear my mind on my sleeve. I have a history of taking off my shirt. It's been 1 week since you looked at me, threw your arms in the air and said you're crazy. 5 days since you tackled me, I still got the red burns on both my knees. It's been 3 days since the afternoon. You realize it's not my fault, but I'm only too soon. Yesterday you'd forgiven me, and now I'll sit back and wait till you say you're sorry. China, the Chinese chicken. You have a drumstick and your brain stops sticking. Watching X-Files with no lights on, with all our maze on. I hope the Smoky Man's in this one, like Harrison Ford, I'm getting frantic. Like Sting, I'm tantric. Like Snickers, guaranteed to satisfy. Like Kurosawa, I make mad films. Okay, I don't make films, but if I did, they'd have a samurai. Gonna get a set of better clubs, gonna find the kind with tiny enough just so my irons aren't always flying off the backswing. Gonna get into my Sailor Moon, cause the cartoonist got the boom anime babes that make me think the wrong thing. How can I help it if I think you're funny when you're mad? Trying hard not to smile, though I feel bad. I'm the kind of guy who laughs at a funeral. Can't understand what I mean, you soon will. I have a tendency to wear my mind on my sleeve. I have a history of losing my shirt. It's been 1 week since you looked at me, dropped your arms to the sides and said I'm sorry. 5 days since I laughed at you and said you just did just what I thought you were gonna do. 3 days since the living room, we realized we're both to blame, but what could we do? Yesterday, you just smiled at me, cause it'll still be 2 days till we say we're sorry. It'll still be 2 days till we say we're sorry. It'll still be 2 days till we say we're sorry. Bridgman Stadium, home of the Robbie.
On BBC iPlayer.
You're warm under the duvet, you're listening in the shower. You're running late again, you must be there in half an hour. You might be going to work, it may be school or college. So drink your tea and eat your toast and don't forget the porridge. The Chris Moyle Show.
Yes. Almost 9:45 this Saturday morning. It is Amy Irons and Stephen Mill with you with the Saturday show until 12 o'clock today. And we're in the company of Mark Nelson and Natasha Radmere talking all about the big stories of the week. But we've also been asking you this morning, what were you doing in 1998, the last time Scotland were at a World Cup? And we've had some fantastic messages coming in. 80295 is a text number, or 08085 92 95 00 if you want to WhatsApp us.
Yes, hello to Ewan. 1998, Scotland, Bordeaux. I was sleeping on my boss's hotel floor. I met this fine big Scots lad in the main square queuing for a beer. He was wearing tartan head to toe, and on his feet were a big pair of size 12 pink furry slippers. I asked, "What's with the pink slippers, big chap?" He said, "I slept under the bush over there last night and I woke up and someone nicked my brogues and left me these pink slippers instead. But don't worry, see that big guy in front of you with the Royal Stuart tartan kilt? He looks like a size 12 and I know where he slept under that tree last night. He'll be wearing the pink slippers tomorrow." So keep your shouts coming in if you were at France 98, if you got any stories like you in there. It's 80295 in the text, 08085 92 95 00.
Right, next up in the breakfast roll then, everybody loves a good whodunit, don't they? And this story has been everywhere this week. We're talking about the pub quiz team who were caught cheating red-handed after inquisitive bar staff set out to investigate them. Mark Rackman, who runs the Barking Dog pub in Greater Manchester, told the BBC how they foiled what he described as the crime of the century.
We've made it clear there's no phones allowed, so if you had your phones on, you would like to see them on the table face down. And it was 2 weeks ago, I got a member of staff whilst I was doing the quiz to stand next to the table, not to make them feel uncomfortable, but to make them feel that they were being watched. And he said they were being slightly suspicious, but he couldn't prove anything. So last week, my colleague Rob took it a step further and went outside the pub and looked through the window behind the table where they were sat and could see them both on the smartwatches using Shazam and speaking into Siri all the questions, and he was feeding them back.
I mean, that's
like using a smartwatch. That's actually next level.
That's 2025 pub quiz cheating. Natasha, do you approve of this behaviour?
I mean, who among us has not Googled in a cubicle while doing a pub quiz?
I can't believe you would slander us for that. Yeah. I mean, of course we have. Yeah, absolutely, 100%. Mark?
Well, no, actually, I don't like this. I do like the fact that guy said, I didn't want to make them feel uncomfortable. I just wanted to make them feel like they were being looked at. I'm like,
as if that's not
exactly.
yeah.
Being watched.
I love pub quizzes.
Are you competitive?
It's not the competitiveness about it. I just like the idea of a pub quiz. I think it's a class thing for folk to do. And I don't like the fact that people... Because when I initially saw the story, I was like, well, how are they getting away with it? And then I didn't realise you could go to that lengths where you're just whispering into a smartwatch and it would give them... Like, that's proper Dick Tracy. Like, that's, like you say, I mean, next level cheating. It's actually ingenious.
I know.
I'm actually on their side now, considering they found a loophole.
You're going to be adopting this. You take part in a pub quiz. Would you ever do this, Natasha?
Do you know,
think?
I have done it maybe once or twice, and only when it's a question that I know the answer to, like the answer is in my brain already. So
you just need to verify.
Exactly. If someone asked me a question about rugby, right, I'm just going to admit defeat immediately. I don't know the answer to that. But if someone's asking me about, I don't know, a one-hit wonder from 1995, and it's just like it's in the recesses of my brain, maybe I will, ask.
By the way, if you want to take pub quizzing to the extreme, go to another country and do a pub quiz, right? I was in America last year, and you think, a pub quiz is a pub quiz. It's not, because there's so many cultural references that you just completely miss out on, and questions you would just not. So I was in Florida, and there was this lovely wee pub, and they were like, oh, we're doing a pub quiz, do you want to take part? And I was like, yeah. I was like, so my wife, very intelligent, I was like, we're really good at pub quizzes. So I was like, yeah, we'll do this. Dead last. Like, absolutely dead last, because they were asking us questions. They were like, apart from New York, or besides New York, what's the next biggest financial centre in the United States? Any ideas?
No idea. No idea. You would just be having to guess, wouldn't you?
It's Charlotte, North Carolina. Right? So I would never have guessed that in a million years.
Even if you had an inkling, you wouldn't go, oh, it's definitely Charlotte then.
I know, exactly.
You would be sure, would you? Right, next up it is Christmas advert time of year. I do hate to say it. I know there'll be people thinking, not yet. But there's a bit of a trend that's emerged this year. Middle-aged men being apparently specifically targeted in a number of adverts. So John Lewis's Rave Dad ad has had a lot of traction. You might have seen that, while another one sees Keira Knightley falling for 50-year-old comedian Joel Wilkinson at the Waitrose cheese counter. Do you feel seen, Mark, by these Christmas adverts?
How dare you? I never, until you were talking about that, I was like, I never considered myself middle-aged and like, oh God, I am now. Do you know what? I love Christmas adverts. I genuinely do love them, and I think they're good this year. I don't get as sentimental about the John Lewis one as other people seem to be. Because when I was watching it, I just kind of sat there and looked around at my kids and go, do you know what? You've ruined my life as well, actually. Like, I used to have a proper laugh with my pals, and then you two came along, and now I'm stuck with dancing on my own in a living room as well.
I used to go to the pub with my mates.
Exactly, I know. Yeah. But no, I think it is a good. It's John Lewis are always like the kings, I think, of Christmas adverts. They always produce an absolute. Because when you think of some of the classic ones they've had with the Guy in the Moon and all that kind of stuff, they've always.
And then.
Keira Knightley, I know this is probably ridiculous because I'm just feeling, and you're obviously, but it's Christmas, so I was wondering if you'd consider.
I'd love to.
Oh,
Tuesday,
yeah.
Have you had any sort of liaisons at a cheese counter before, Natasha?
No, because I actually don't really like cheese that much.
Oh, well, there
I
we
get
go.
judged very harshly for it.
What are you making of these adverts then?
Oh, they're fine. I'm not a big Christmas advert person. I don't really care about them that much. I do quite like the Waitrose one. I think it's quite tongue in cheek. There's a wee bit of a Love Actually reference in there. Joe Wilkinson's face makes me very happy.
Yeah.
And yeah, it's quite good. The John Lewis one, I didn't, maybe because it's more kind of directed towards guys this year, maybe it didn't tug the heartstrings as much, but I still cried, obviously. That's the rules.
Right, let's move on to our final story. A report out this week has revealed that a learner driver failed their theory test 128 times, while another passed on their 75th attempt last year, costing them an estimated £1,700. So, I don't want to say that you're old, Mark, but did you do a theory test when you when you passed?
Yeah. Poor Mark's been picked on by us this morning.
You've been targeted.
There was still a choke in the car when I used to drive.
Did you pass first time?
I did, surprisingly. Yeah.
I'm right in thinking you didn't learn when you were young, though.
No, I passed my test when I was 30.
Right, okay.
Because when I first moved up to Glasgow and I went to uni, you had no real need for a car. And then, so you could get about everywhere. And then it was only when I started doing comedy properly, I was like, I desperately do need a car now.
You might need to do your test again, or certainly just look at a map, because you told us before we came on air just what you did last night.
Yes, I was doing my tour show in Oban last night, and for some reason all the week I had the idea that Oban had moved to Fife. even though I've done Oban so many times, and then I set off on the M8 and was speaking to my wife in the car, and she was like, "No, it's on the West Coast." So right back round again, and then I'd added about an hour onto my journey.
To get to the Great Oban.
Yeah.
Couldn't be further away from Fife, to be honest with you. It's literally one of the places most furthest away. Natasha, what about you? You a confident driver? Are you a good driver?
I'm a good driver, a bad parker. I passed my test on the third attempt. I failed my first one for going too slow. The second one, I was so nervous. My legs were shaking so much that I stalled, no joke, about 20 times. And the examiner actually stopped the test early and just put me out my misery. He was like, "Yeah, you're definitely failed."
Putting out your misery there and then.
Yeah, exactly.
That is an absolute nightmare. Right, guys, thanks so much for being on the Breakfast Scroll this morning. Guys, you got anything on? Anything you want to plug before you head away? You got any more gigs coming up, Mark?
Yeah, I'm on tour. Well, the tour that was the last Scottish date of the year, but I'm doing the Pavilion on March the 14th.
Glasgow Comedy Festival.
Glasgow Comedy Festival. So.
Excellent. Natasha, anything big coming up you want to tell us about?
I'm working on the next issue of Homes and Interiors Scotland magazine, and it's a big wellness special. So yeah.
Oh, good, excellent. Well, I'm getting on your flat soon, so you can come round and give your decorate for me if you fancy.
Chance in his arm.
Thank you to Mark and Natasha for being on the Breakfast Scroll this morning. And by the way, keep your shouts coming in about what you were doing in 1998, and we'll get to
multi-dimensional, amazing, unexpected sound, refugee all-star. The sweetest thing I've ever known was like the kiss on a collarbone, the soft caress of happiness, the way you walk, your style of dress. I wish I didn't get so weak. Ooh, baby, just to hear you speak makes me argue just to see how much you're in love with me. See, like a queen, a queen. Was the sweetest thing I've known. It was the sweetest thing I've known. holding on. Like your precious, 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 baby, dark skin tone. It was a the sweetest thing I know. Was it? I tried to explain. I can't explain it. I can't explain it. But baby, it's in vain. Speaking on my mother's phone, a touch that makes me think I'm grown. You ain't grown. Sweet prince of the ghetto, sweet prince of the ghetto. Your kisses taste like Amaretto, intoxicating, intoxicating. Oh, so intoxicating, intoxicating. How sad, it's so sad. How sad that all things come to an end. But then again, I'm not alone. It was a sweetest thing I've known. It was a sweetest thing I've known. Sometimes watch you in your sleep. Excuse me if I get too deep.
Latest thing on the Saturday show this morning.
So Bono wrote that song for his wife because they'd had a massive argument and fell out.
I mean, that's one way of making it.
And he went away and wrote that song, and he was like, that was to make up basically to his wife. So and probably made millions of pounds off the back of it as well. So everyone's a winner.
Two birds, one stone.
Yeah.
All of that.
What were you doing in 1998? Some of these texts that are coming in, absolutely brilliant. Hello to Sandy, who's listening in Edinburgh this morning. 1998 World Cup. I've got some great memories of working for Scotland's First Bank and being flown to Paris by a major supplier on the day of the Scotland-Brazil game. What a day. We partied so hard with the Brazilian supporters that we missed the first 10 minutes of the game. From what I can remember, we had a disappointing result.
What a message from Sandy. Also, no name on this one, but somebody's messaged in saying, I've still got a bottle of Bordeaux World Cup 1998 wine in the shape of a football. Do you think it'll still be okay? I mean, I think if you've kept it this long, you would probably just hold on to it.
Just hold on to it. That'll be a timepiece.
We stopped in a village called Argenstadt because it sounded like Argentina between the Norway game and Morocco game, and ended up being invited to a big outdoor banquet with the mayor of the town and all his friends. What a night travelling during a World Cup. Such happy memories. I hope the new Tartan Army get to experience it. That is the thing. You speak to anyone who has been lucky enough to go to any major tournaments, and it's like nothing else. Obviously Euro 2020, it was COVID, that kind of dampened it, but then Germany for the Euros.
Germany was phenomenal. It was so good. It was great, wasn't it? And hopefully we're all in North America next year. We can speak to somebody who's on the line just now. Good morning, Marcus. How are you?
Good morning. Good morning from Germany.
Yes, you're in Germany. We were just speaking about Germany. Absolutely brilliant time for the Euros. And where about in Germany are you?
I'm in Bavaria. I'm in a little town. It's called Bad Aibling. It's like 50 kilometers south of Munich.
Okay.
So near the Austrian border.
Okay, right. And tell us about 1998 then, Marcus.
Yeah, I just want to share a little story about 1998. That was the time when I've been to Scotland first, and it was a group of scouts, and my now wife was a guest of that group, and we got known to each other in Scotland. And that's how we fell in love with Scotland, fell in love with each other, and now I'm running like a little whiskey shop in Bad Aibling selling Scotch whiskey.
Oh,
that's my story. Yeah.
What a beautiful story. What's your wife's name?
My wife's name is Ramona, and I want to tell her. I hope she's listening to your show now.
Yes, well, I hope she's listening, or if not, she can go back on BBC Sounds and scroll back and have a listen so that you're in the good books.
Yeah, that would be great.
Yeah, absolutely. Just very, very quickly, what's your favourite whiskey then? What's your tipple of choice?
That depends on my mood and the time of the day.
Different one for breakfast, different one for dinner.
Exactly. Well, Marcus, we're so happy that you made that trip to Scotland because it's become such a big part of your life. You're welcome back anytime, Marcus. Okay, come and see us, all right?
Thanks a lot. Thanks a lot for calling me, and thanks a lot for your show. I'm listening just to get a little bit of a Scotch accent into Bavaria.
Well, Marcus, we love that you're listening from Germany, so thank you so much, and have a great Saturday, okay?
Yeah, I will. I have a whiskey tasting tonight with friends of mine. So
amazing.
It'll be great.
Amazing. Well,
fantastic.
Hope there's no hangover tomorrow, Marcus. Right, thank you very much. There he goes. There's Marcus. Keep your texts coming in on 80295, WhatsApp 08085 92 95 00. What were you doing in 1998? Did you make it to the World Cup? Tell us about your epic journeys to get there as well, your funny stories. This is the Saturday Show with Amy Irons and me, Stephen Mill. Lots still to come after 10, including Justin Curry from Delamitri and that World Cup anthem from 1998. We'll get to that very soon after your latest headlines with Cara.
Driving test this morning. When did you pass yours? I'm going to guess you passed first time.
Oh, I didn't. I was second time, about 18 or 19, I think.